Good evening, Academy 55 members and everybody else who's watching on YouTube, perhaps, or the recording. My name's David Khan. It's Wednesday, the 3rd of September. It's 4 minutes to 7 in the evening here in the UK, looking at the adventures of the Academy 55 indicators and strategy on the US 100, also known as the NAS100, also the EUR USD. So, as we can see, we're on the US 100 now. This is the sort of thing we're after. Here we go to the 5-minute time frame at 18:20. We entered the sell zone on the 5-minute time frame. So we know to take the next sell. So go down to the minute time frame, and at 18:25, we did indeed have a sell. This is where the stop loss would be because the green wave met the red, and also the trend line is very near, keeping 2,000 units away, and down we went for 2%. But now we've got another buy zone down here, so we'll mark that up. And we'll also mark the sell zone up. And as you can see, we are away from that yet. So we'll have a look at the EUR USD. Put it down to the minute time frame before we do so. And there are the zones. So let's have a look at the EUR USD. Here we are on the EUR USD. And we'll mark up the zones on this one. Here's the sell zone. And we have a buy zone right way down there. But we, so let's check this one out. We got into on the 5-minute time frame, we got into the sell zone at 18:20. So let's have a look. Put the indicators back on, 18:20. And at 18:24, we got the sell alert. Keeping a minimum of 2.2 pips away. Which would be there. This time we are, it's very, very close actually. Now that's actually debatable whether you would have got taken out of that trade or not. I don't know because I wasn't here. But as you can see, we would have got into it there. Well, actually, no, because you would have got into it 2.2, which means you would have got into it there because you haven't reached the 2.2 limit yet. But the stop loss is still there. 2 to 1. So that's another successful trade for the fact if you go and wait for price to get into your sell zone, all that good stuff. So what am I doing now? Where am I? So we'll we'll do away with the indicators on that one. We don't want to confuse people. We're looking at that on the, what do we here? There we go, that's better. Where is the buy zone? I don't know what that is. We have, oh yeah, all the way down here is the buy zone. So we can bung that back on the minute again. We don't need to look any more on that. And we're in the middle of zones on the US 100 also. So there's two successful trades, one on the EUR USD, more or less roughly the same time actually. Yeah, pretty close. So and that happened at 6:30 UK time, around about then. That's when it all kicked off. But now we're waiting for maybe another chance to trade. I took on a trade this afternoon. So this will be my second trade. I want to show you said trade. It only takes a couple of minutes. And it looks something like this. This was this afternoon at 2:30 UK time. If I can play it. Hello, David Corn here on Wednesday, the 3rd of September 2025. It's now 1 minute or 30 seconds to go before we have the US 100 open, the stock exchange opening in New York. I've just taken the sell because it was in the sell zone on the 5-minute time frame. So I've taken the sell and let's see how far this goes. So I've taken the sell because we got a red volume ribbon, red sell alert. The trend line has just turned red. We've got a red wave, and now the volume is kicking in because it is now 2:30. So let's hope it goes the right way. Certainly looking like it might do. They're still unsure what's going on as we're into the first few seconds of New York opening. But we've got a strong indication because, like I said, the price had gone into the sell zone on the 5-minute time frame previously. So I'm hoping that plays out. And the trend line has just gone red, even though the candle is going green. Just a little bit of retracement, I'm hoping. And we'll see. Hopefully we'll have enough volume to kick through the purple line, the EMA 462. Like I said, this is my first trade of the day. Give myself a lie-in this morning because I'm doing live trading later on at 7 o'clock this evening. And we've got a lovely bit of volume now. A bit of retrace, but we're heading the right way. So let's keep hoping that's done and smash through our 2% target. We were about a couple of hundred units away because it's units, not pips, with the US 100. And we have enough to get us through that 2% line. It's actually a little bit more than that. It worked out to 2.3%. But hey, 0.3% is nothing really. And as you can see, there we go. Got my 2%. Thank you very much. So that's what happened this afternoon. So we're still waiting for trades to get into the zones. Don't forget to check every so often that we're not into a buy zone on either chart, because they do appear every now and then. Not on the minute. What about on the US 100? No, that's the zone still down there. That's fine. So in the meantime, let's play this.
Hi, this is Steve with a very short video to show you where to get the training for the indicators and tools we use inside Academy 55. So once you're logged into the members area, you'll see in the premium dashboard this section that's entitled Start Learning. And if you click here, that'll take you through to the learning library. Now, we'll say at this point, we highly recommend you watch each of these videos 2 or 3 times to get a full understanding of how everything works. Here you'll find tutorials on using the MT4 Trade Assistant and how to use the MT4 platform with the Trade Assistant. This is the longest video you'll find inside the platform. It's around 30 minutes long, well worth your time. Watch the video once, then maybe write a few questions down that you might have for yourself and watch the video for a second time, and things will really start to make sense. By the time you watch it 3 times, you'll fully understand how everything works. So that's the longest video. It's about 30 minutes long, well worth your time. And then you can jump into individual trainings here for how to remove indicators. These videos are just a couple of minutes long. How to move MetaTrader around like you can in TradingView, Trading Assistant controls, how to do back testing in TradingView, how to draw vertical lines to mark out your hour, and so much more. And by the time you watch this video or see this video, there might be other trainings in this section. But everything here is well worth your time, and you find that, as I said a moment ago, from the main dashboard in the Start Learning section. Now, one more thing just to mention here. If you're looking for anything in particular, if you come down to the support name of FAQs, click on Get Support, and in this area you'll find a detailed FAQ section, and you can come through here. For example, if you're looking for an answer to a question about MetaTrader, have a look through these, and once you click through you'll find direct links to videos that give you answers to most of the questions that we get asked on a regular basis. So hopefully you found this useful, and back to your further training.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Right, so we haven't missed nothing. I was watching on other monitors just in case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw open the chat lines. Can I remember how to do that? Yeah, there we go. So if anybody's got a question, either on YouTube or with me here in the Academy 55 meeting room, please jot down your question, and I'll do my very best to answer it for you. And in the meantime, what we'll do is we'll have a look at the MT4. Make sure you've got your risk to reward in purple, your lot calc in purple, that all important 1% for your trade. And I like to turn this one on for, because I need to close all trades from there, paper it, might as well use it. And I like to keep a minimum of 2,000 units on the US 100, also known as the NAS100, which is the equivalent of 2 pips in the Forex world. Similarly, on my EUR USD, I won't be taking this, by the way, because that hasn't been in a zone. Price hasn't been in a zone, and I've already traded once today. I use the zones, as you can see, with really great effect. So I'm not going to be risking this one, but I like to keep a minimum of 2.2 pips away. 22 in there. So I'll put the lines on. Oh, There we go. So I could have anticipation of that trend line going green, but I'm not going to risk that one. Instead, I'm going to paper trade this one because I'm perfectly fine with that because like I said, I've got 2% today already. So why wouldn't I want to pick the best trades? And the reason we do that, pick the best trades, because this segues nicely into the reason we don't put any pressure on ourselves trading is this from Steve.
So here's how you make profits without putting yourself under too much pressure. Let's look at a situation where you've got yourself a $100,000 FTMO prop firm account and you win 10%. You'll win $10,000. Now, FTMO will pay you 80% of that after their 20% commission retention. So you'll make $8,000. $8,000 a month is $96,000 a year. In pounds, that's £71,110. In euros, 82,430. Now in pounds, if you divide that by 12, you'll find it's £5,925 a month. In euros, €6,869 per month. But what if you only won 7.25% per month? Well, your payout from FTMO would be in dollars £1,115 per week, in pounds £1,000 a week, and in euros €956 per week. So as you can see, making profits without putting yourself under undue pressure makes complete sense. Look at the numbers on the screen in front of you now. On the left, if you win only 10% per month, those are the numbers. On the right, if you fail to hit that realistic target of 10% and only achieve 7.25%, that's $1,115 a week, £1,000 a week if you're in the UK, and €956 a week across the Eurozone. This is why we target only 10%. It's all about making profits without putting ourselves under undue pressure.
And that's the reason we only do that. If you want to increase that, you don't increase the number of trades you do. You get a tool. Tools are out there that copy your trades onto other platforms. So why wouldn't you want to go and pick yourself the best probabilities, i.e. the time of the day, and looking for price on the 5-minute time frame like we did here, going into on the 5-minute time frame into the sell zone, taking the next sell on the 1 minute and getting your 2%. That is your best, because you only need 1 or 2 trades a day. Like this one here. Again, put it on the 5-minute time frame. Price goes into the 5-minute sell zone. So we know to take the next sell. And there we go. Down for 2% on both the EUR USD and the US100. Now, price hasn't been into a buy zone on this one. So why would I don't need to put pressure on myself and take trades, especially after I've taken a trade this afternoon and it won 2%. I'm quite happy just to watch it go by, because I'm looking really for the extra confirmation of them going into the buy and sell zone on the 5-minute. Not to say this one won't work, but it's like a 10% less chance of the winning rate. So really what we found in our back testing is if they go into the sell zones or buy zones, in this case a sell zone, there's a 75% chance, 75% win rate I've had with taking all trades in the journals through this. But if they haven't been into the buy zone, for example, here, through backtesting, I know there's like a 65 to 70% chance. Still a good chance, but less of a chance because I haven't got that added confirmation. So why would I want to do that? What I'll do is I'll paper trade this one instead. There's where the green stop loss goes there. So indeed, you'll be going there, and your 2% is up to there, which is doable. I haven't taken this trade, just paper testing it, but you got a green buy alert. This is the EUR USD on the 1 minute time frame. Green trend. Stop loss goes there because it's level with where the red wave meets the green wave. So that's where the stop loss goes. Minimum of 2.2 pips away, which is, well, actually, you would have just got in there. Well, maybe not. And your 2% is there. Actually, that is an ideal situation at the moment because you might not be in that trade yet because your 2.2 pips is there. Maybe, I don't know, it's debatable, but we'll see. Now we've gone onto the US 100. We have sideways action. Happens 80% of the time. As you can see, these are only not very big at all. The volume has gone right out. We've gone sideways. Might stay like that the rest of the night. You don't know. Actually, let's have a look at the bigger picture. Let's take the indicators off. Let's go on to the daily time frame on the NAS100 to find that we are indeed on. We went up here in July, come to the beginning of August, and then we've slowly been going back down again. But let's go on the 4-hourly time frame. And let's do our old friend, the support and resistance lines, and see if there's any support and resistance lines that might make a difference to us. So I'll put the full candles onto lines. I'm looking for 1 or 2 points or more. Nearest to the time frame. So here, for example, we've got, I would say, about there, right where the sell zone is actually on 23,470 units, 407 units, 0.4. We've got an area that is of interest, and also, interestingly, we've got an area here because we've got 1 point there and 1 point there at 23,287 units. That's an area of interest. And that's right above the buy zone. So that could, I'll bring that down just a smidge. Now that's a bit more accurate. And that's near enough on top of the buy zone at 23,282. And as you can see, 1.2 points there. So let's go down to the hourly with this. And this area here also is a point of interest on the hourly time frame. I don't go any less than hourly. These are just points of interest to look at. Because if you have an inclination why price is doing certain things, it gives you a lot more confidence to understand what price may be doing. So we'll bring that down just a smidge. Because we've got 1 point there, look, 1 point, and it's sort of reacted off this area here as well. So we have our points of interest. Go down to the minute. Put the indicators back on. And we will, let's see how, oh, right, look at this. I'm really glad that I didn't take this trade. And if you had done the 2.2, indeed, it's debatable whether that, I think you might have been just in that trade. But it's gone south. Still not out of it just yet, but near enough, really. A little bit more of a volume down. Perhaps getting to these imbalance areas down here. That's another thing that reminds me, we didn't look for imbalance areas back on the NAS100. So I'm going to go here. We've got a wee bit of imbalance here, but that is too far away to draw up. Let's go down to the hourly. Yeah, it's underneath that buy zone. So we could well see price getting to this imbalance area here, tapping into it like it did there before shooting back up again. But we're already in the buy zone. So that'll be fine. That's if it does that. But we've gone sideways at the moment, and that could be the rest of the day doing that, maybe, because market close in 2.5 hours time. So I marked this one up as a paper trade. I didn't do that one because that was at 6:30 this evening when I was setting up to do today's live. But we could be very well going into this buy zone now, which will give us extra confirmation, which will be good. So rather than just sit around like lemons, I'm going to play you this one from Steve again.
Hi, this is Steve, and in this short video I'm going to just show you the settings for the Trade Assistant to make sure that you've got the minimum 2 pip stop loss on the Euro USD or any currency pair, and how you set it for if you're trading a commodity like the US 100, because the settings are slightly different. So here you can see we're on the Euro USD chart here. I've got my risk to reward on the Trade Assistant locked at 2 to 1. I've got my risk balance at 1%. Lot calculator is on, and my little purple button here between the buy and sell is also activated. So we're ready to bring the Trade Assistant onto the chart. Now you'll notice here that we've got the stop loss set at 20. That indicates 2 pips when you're on a currency pair. And we can actually change that here by typing over it. So if I type in there 40 and just tab off here, you can see now we've got a stop loss of 4 pips because we're on a currency pair. In this example, it's Euro USD, but it could be Euro GBP or any currency pair. So let's just put that back to 20 for our 2 pips. We'll click off here, and now we'll just put the lines on so that you can see that is showing us 2 pips over here on the actual tool, ready to actually get involved with a trade if that's what we were going to do. But that's not what we're here for now. I'm going to click off the lines here, and what we're going to do is we're going to change our chart from Euro USD to US 100, and I can do that by dragging it onto the screen here. You'll see it now switch over to US 100, and now you can see that stop loss says 20, and that's wrong for a commodity. So what we want to do here is come in here and type 2000. This is the equivalent of 2 pips on a commodity such as US 100. So now when I put the lines on, you'll see we've got the number 2000 here, and if I just zoom around, you'll notice the 2 to 1 still applies, 2000 and 4000 here, where we've got a $1,000 trade in place, risking $1,000 to win $2,000. So that's the number that you need to get your 2 pip minimum on. So the minimum number would be 2000. You could have anything above that if you're on a commodity like US 100, and the number will be 20, which is 2 pips equivalent if you're on a currency pair such as Euro USD. Hopefully you found this useful, and thanks very much for watching.
Thank you very much, Steve. Excellent videos there, training wise. But as you can see, if that one would have been activated, and unfortunately, because we didn't have the extra confirmation of going into any buy zone, I'm glad I didn't do that because I would have been out by now, as you can see. But so what I'm going to do, if I can work out how to do this. Something I've never, well, don't usually do, but now Zoom is telling me, all my Calorie 55 members, is the ones watching me can unmute themselves and ask me a question instead of typing if they so want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. We'll just watch the charts. I think should be able to do that now. Only because there's not a lot happening now, because we've gone sideways here, and I don't feel like telling any jokes. Not that I would anyway, but so if anybody wants to ask a question in any one of our Academy 55 members, they can unmute themselves because they're already in the room with me, and they can ask
Hi,
a
David.
question.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, I can hear you. Who's this, please?
It's Raj. How you doing? You good?
Oh, hello, Raj. How are you?
I'm very well. Like your system. Fantastic, I must admit. Makes it so easy. Do you know what? A friend of mine gets up at 5 in the morning, draws all these lines on gold. Madness. I told you to come and see the master, the Iceman. Come and see you.
Yes. Well, yeah, the whole idea of this, as you know by now, Raj, was to make it as simple as possible, to give people really simple, take the pressure off themselves, because people fall into big mistakes very early on and they don't know how to get out of their mistakes. It takes them a long time. But if you set it out nice and simple, and then we can go from there. Yes, Raj, have you got a question for us?
Yeah. On the US 100 at 230,
Yeah.
sometimes it's very, very volatile. And I know today you got it okay, but if it's really volatile, would you leave it? Because sometimes it shoots up and down like drunk on a pogo stick.
Well, that's why we keep 2,000 units away, Raj.
Yeah.
Minimum. And it's the volatility that is what we're after, really, because
Oh,
the volatility, the New York Stock Exchange has just opened. The volatility usually increases by 2 or 3 times, and it's that volatility that gives you that 2% really, really quickly. And as I always say with the US 100 or NAS100, as it's known, is once it goes, it goes, and then so that's why I've been having great success at 230 with
yeah, I
is it,
noticed that. Yeah.
I'm guessing it's the volatility that sort of puts you off a bit. Is that right, Raj?
Yeah, because it can be really, really volatile. That's one thing I noticed. And I actually haven't put a trade on yet exactly 230. Um, just in case. I thought I tend to let it settle down a bit, I must admit.
Well, that's okay, and that's fine. As long as as long as you are in happy with what you're doing, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If it's the volatility that gets you, that's fine. No worries at all. Otherwise, wait for it to go into the zones. No, I haven't tried US 3000. Olga, no, I haven't tried that one. US 30, you mean? Or is it 300? No, the reason we picked these, Olga, the EUR USD and the US 100 is because we only need 1 or 2 trades a day. And to know these two trades specifically, these two commodities specifically, not to go anywhere else, is because we know with all the back testing has been done on the US 100 and also the EUR USD. There is no more results for any other commodities in my journal. The journal, I really want you all to get a journal and mark down your own success. The Academy 55 members, they can take my journal, look at that. They've all got screenshots to them, and they can make a copy of it, delete all the information I've got, like each individual trade, delete all that, and use it as your own journal. And the reason, again, for simplicity, the reason we use the EUR USD and the US 100 is because they fit really, what I found, they fit really, really well using the red for a sell, the green for a buy. The Academy 55 indicators, they suit them really well. We've only back tested them, and also, especially for simplicity, well, no matter what you try, it's always best to go and try one commodity and get a feel for how it moves, and because every commodity works slightly different. I mean, for example, the GBP USD. Now, about 70 or 80% of the time, it did work perfectly well. But the EUR USD is a lot smoother movement as opposed to the GBP USD. We'd have bigger spikes, a bit more volatile. I made a video ages ago about if you imagine let's go back to the EU. Imagine we're on the EUR USD now. Imagine the USD is a big oil tanker. Now the euro is a tug, and it's got to push that tanker into position. Now the EUR is the biggest tug, and now all this movement here is choppy waters. Imagine this. All this is choppy waters. The USD is a big tanker and it will go through choppy waters really smoothly. And because the EUR USD is a big tug, when it pushes against that tanker, it does it smoothly. Now, the GBP USD, the GBP is a smaller tug. And so it's trying to push the USD bigger tug and it bounces off it and that's what these wicks are, is basically the GBP tug bouncing off the big tanker, trying to push the USD into place and against the choppy waters. I hope that might be a bit of a better analogy for you. I don't know whether it is. I'm trying to explain things the best way possible. But that's why we use the EUR-USD, because they're both big chunky boats. Basically, the USD obviously is bigger than the euro, but they're both big chunky boats, and the choppy waters is the market, and pushing both these boats pushing makes things a lot smoother as opposed to other commodities. That's why they're used. I hope you understood that anyway. I know Anna did. She said that was a great analogy. Thank you, Anna, for that. So it's 22. I can probably safely say now that on the US 100, we've got better chance of actually getting a trade on that one, and we'll be looking for the next buy because we're nearly there into the buy zone. What times of day do you like to trade EUR/USD? Obviously 8 a.m. UK. Any other times? Well, between 7 and 9 really. But other than that, you're waiting for confirmation of the price to get into the buy or the sell zone. But like I always say, between 7 and 9 in the morning UK time is the best times, because 80% of the time we get this sideways movement. But between 7 and 9, if the markets are going to move, they usually move and start trending between 7 and 9, and we can usually take advantage of that. So that's why we do that. But other than that, if you wait for price on the 5 minute to get into the buy or the sell zones on the 5 minute time frame, and use it as you would normally, and try and stay away from this sort of nonsense. Because if this sort of sideways movement was there and then we got into just dipped into a buy zone, well, I'd be waiting for better, probably be giving myself a longer stop loss to entry before getting in, and that sort of thing. You got to read the market, what it was doing before. Like, it's been getting orders now, and also because there's a buy zone here, there might be a lot of buy orders here. We don't know for certain. And when there's at times when the volume goes out, banks and investors go into what they go into what's called a stop, or we call it a stop hunt, where they are actually hunting and tricking retail traders to put in buy orders there, which is an order, and they'll just go down and say thank you very much, and we'll take that, and then go sideways again. Sometimes that happens as well. Understand, thank you. I don't, Olga saying, understand, thank you. I don't have an opportunity to trade in the morning, so I work in the afternoon. EUR USD doesn't work for me. Many losses. US 100 is okay, but US 30 works better. Right, okay. Right, okay, I can't comment on that. I've tried US 30. I didn't get it working for me properly. And like I said, we're keeping things simple here. So the only thing I can say to you, Olga, is if you think US 30 is working for you properly, get a journal and paper trade US 30 for at least 2 weeks or a month, the same way as I use my journal, and then calculate all the wins and losses you've had. And if it works for you, keep on with it. But I can't comment on that because I don't try it because I've got no need to, because I'm perfectly happy with what we're doing at the moment. But I'm pleased it's working for you. Right. So, yeah, we are officially looking for the next buy, but I mean, all this sort of stuff is putting me off, and also the time. The time is I don't like trading after 8 o'clock in the evening for the NAS100, purely because if volume kicks out like it does here, and then we don't then it starts to go sideways again, then all of a sudden we're close to market close, and then it's a bit of a waste of time, really. But that's the scenario for the buy on the keeping 2,000 units. So we're waiting for a nice buy alert, obviously. And also, as you noted, it didn't get into the zone here. Again, that would put me off. And if you feel you are desperate for a trade, you've got to trade because you don't get in the bigger picture. The bigger picture is we only go after a 10% monthly target. And that's effectively 5 winning trades. So why would you want to look at the probabilities, and you haven't got the confirmation of price going into the zone, the time, we've seen all this carry on here. Why would you want to do that when you only need effectively 5 winning trades a month to get your monthly target? And that will give you a really nice, well, on a $100,000 account, that will give you $8,000 a month by the time FTMO take their 20% out. So, yeah, which is in UK would be about 6,800, 6,700, something like that. So again, I would rather discipline. So it's all about discipline as well. If you feel you need to take this trade, like I said, you've got a 65% chance of that working. But if it goes into the zones, that's extra confirmation, you've got a 75% chance. And that might make all the difference. And we've seen lots of this choppy action here. So this is where the stop loss will be. I'm going to paper trade this. And again, it's down to your daily lifestyle as well. Now, if you can afford to be at the computer most of the day, no problem. All you do is right click, add an alert on the horizontal array. So when it goes into that area, you will be alerted. Actually, I think I might take this trade if it comes into fruition. Keeping 2,000 units. Because I've already won 2% today, I mean, if it loses, I lose 1%. But if it breaks these highs here, that's within my 2,000 units anyway. So that's where I want my stop loss to be. Now, that's why I keep a minimum of that, but I wanted to break that high there before I get in, just to be extra cautious. And if it goes above that there, it's breaking out of the consolidation area. The trend line's gone green, but the buy alert has disappeared again. So it's a bit iffy, isn't it? We could be seeing more, yet again, more sideways movement. Could be. And with the amount of volume, this, hang on, let's just scrunch this up. These are big candles. Oh, well, it sounds obvious, but these are bigger candles, more volume. These are not so big, smaller volume. And that could be because of the time of the day. Could be, like I said, banks are going on what's called a stop hunt, encouraging retail traders like ourselves to put in stop losses. I haven't got the confirmation of it going into the buy zone. Do you know what? Seeing all that, I've talked myself out of it. Not worth it. Because like I keep reiterating, it only takes 5 successful trades to get your 10%, and that's all you need for the month. And once you've got, I mean, I keep going for you guys, live trading on demo after I've received my 10% monthly target. I treat every trade as if it was real money. But for you guys, once you've received 10% for the month, no matter how long it takes, buy yourself a bar of chocolate. Take your partner out for a meal or something like that. Congratulate yourself. Give yourself something physical to reward yourself, because then you feel a lot better mentally. You feel you've done a really good job of, because you've rewarded yourself with discipline, basically for your discipline and recognizing and learning sideways movement. You know, it's always trouble trying to trade in this sideways market, because effectively we're still in this sideways sort of zone. It's not known for its trending this time of night. Really, it's had its chance, I think. Maybe at 6 o'clock, did a bit of trending, and now it may. I'm always reluctant to say anything positively because nothing's written in stone. But we may see this action movement all the way till market closes. May do. And I haven't got that confirmation of price getting into that area there. Right, I've just noticed something. If I go into the 5-minute time frame, sorry, on the we've got a buy zone now. Look, see, the buy zone. We was waiting for that buy zone down there, but now a buy zone has appeared on the EUR USD, and we're on the purple line. Again, I'm not super mad crazy to start trading. We're in the buy zone, so effectively on the EUR USD, we can take the next buy because we've got that confirmation of price getting into that zone. But it's late at night for the EUR USD. But this is what it looks like. Minimum of 2.2 pips, which is there. A nice buy alert This is where the stop loss will be there, where in anticipation of the red wave turning green. There's your 2.2. Takes your 2% all the way up to there. But again, maybe because of the time of the night, we might be finding that we are getting into not a very trending market. So that's the scenario for that one. Now, if you wanted to ask me a question, please go ahead and unmute and ask away. You don't have to text if you don't want to, but text is fine, whatever you. Not a very big number of you on today, so that's fine. This is for our Academy 55 members who are in the same room as me. The ones on YouTube will have to write a question, and I'll see if I can see that as and when I click onto it.
Yeah, David, I've got a question.
Who's this, please?
It's Raj again.
Oh, hello, Raj again. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, the question is, sometimes when you put a trade on, it's lovely if you get the volume and it goes up or down or wherever. But if, for example, it falters and it consolidates, is there a certain time span that you'd wait until think, do you know what, this is not going anywhere, or circumstances have changed, and think, right, I'm coming out of it?
Again, that's personal choice, Raj. But personally, if am I already in the trade at this time, you mean, and it starts to go sideways?
Yeah.
And am I in profit or loss?
Say it's bobbling around about entry, for example.
Well, yeah, if it goes on like that for 10, 15 minutes, then I would be more inclined to get out of it because the longer it's in there, the more susceptible you are to news like the euro getting less strong, or the euro getting stronger, or the dollar getting stronger, in which case the euro will weaken and vice versa. So if it carries on for about 10, 15 minutes going sideways, I would be tempted to, and it's around about the entry, I'd be tempted to just cut my losses and get out of that one and wait for another time of the day, or maybe even come back tomorrow,
Yeah. Okay,
But
thanks.
that's me personally, but unless unless you can got an inkling as something, if you're in the trade and there's, say you're in the euro for a buy,
Mhm.
and there's good and you've got an inkling there's going to be good news for the euro within the next 10 to 15 minutes or whatever, that may force the euro be better for the euro. You might be tempted to stay in it, but the longer you stay in it and it's going sideways, the more susceptible you just got caught sideways action, which happens, like I always say, 80% of the time. And I just prefer not to do it and just wait for another opportunity. But that's me personally.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Yep,
good
good.
question. Good question, Raj. Thank you. Like I always say, all my education, all my trading on here is for educational purposes only. I'm not asking anybody to follow me, to take what they call signals. I don't do that because I might have a really bad day, and this goes for anybody taking signals. Unless you know the person and you know their track record, and a lot of people, you can make track records up, really, to be fair. I mean, yeah, it's very easily done. So, for example, if you take a buy trade and you take two or three of them, all of a sudden that 2% could become 4%, 6%. that sort of thing by stacking trades on top of each other. All the trades I take are in front of you guys, win or lose, trading in a goldfish bowl. So I don't offer signals because I don't, quite frankly, I don't need and I don't want that pressure. Trading live is as much pressure as I want because I really want to show off the Academy 55 system and the mentalities trade I go through with what I'm doing. And I want to show the Academy 55 indicators with the backtesting results that we've had and all that sort of stuff. But it's a lot. Be careful if you get tempted into going for signals off other people because they're very, they can be easy to copy. They can be easy to manipulate, so to speak. What I'm saying is I can't manipulate this because it's happening right in front of you guys. And it's recorded as well. So anyway, so although we're in the buy zone here, if this comes up here, I'm not taking it anyway because of the time of night now. Because I've only got another 3 minutes to go. I don't want to be. I'm waiting for my son to come down from London, but that's another story. So I don't wish to. Hang on, here we go. We've got another question. Olga, I have trouble with trading stop loss. Sometimes I move stop loss too soon and I don't get full target, small profit. If I don't move stop loss, I get stopped out. Right. Well, we don't really deal with moving your stop loss. I've done it occasionally. Really and truly, this is designed purely on the back of you lose 1% or you gain 2% by waiting for all the confirmations. I have done move my stop loss in the past. I mean, with the parabolic SAR and stuff like that. And if the parabolic SAR is up there, for example, and the price is up there, I might move my stop loss into stop profit just underneath the stop loss. But again, it depends on how I feel on the day, how late it is into my live session with you guys, and all sorts of things like that. But basically, we teach a 1% loss or a 2% gain because many a time, as I've said, once you've made your trade, go away, boil a kettle, make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, walk away, and just accept a 1% loss or a 2% gain, and treat those two things with the same mentality as if to say, not a big deal. 1% loss, not a big deal. 2% gain, not a big deal. Just don't, celebrate when you get your 10% at the end of the month. Like you say, give yourself a little treat. Go and take your partner out for a meal or buy a bar of chocolate, something that you wouldn't have done normally if you'd not been trading. And that makes you feel good in yourself, In Raj's case, buy another Mercedes or sorry, whatever car he's driving at the time.
David.
Hello, who's this, please?
David, sorry, this is Kevin.
Hello, Kevin.
Hi, just a quick question on the actual trade assistant, David. The figures we put in the 2-2 into your for your stop loss, is that purely designed around the 100K
No,
mark?
these are percentages, Kevin.
Yeah.
So when it says, can you see that it says 22 there?
Yep.
That's 2.2 pips.
Yeah. The problem I've got, well, I say a problem. I've got the trade assistant up on it's only a $10,000 account, right? So I put 2-2 in like as normal into the trade assistant. Yet when it comes up with a lot size. It's in red, and when I go to press a trade, either sell or buy, it's irrelevant. It comes me, it says we haven't got enough money.
Are you trading? Are you trading using trading as a trade assistant? Are you?
Sorry, say that again.
Are you trading using trade? Sorry,
No,
what are we
it's
talking
an
about?
MT4 account. Sorry, David, it's an
Oh,
MT4 account.
oh, right, MT4. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
on the
Yeah,
trade
okay.
assistant, you're using the trade assistant. It's only a 10,000 account, not 100,000. I'm putting the normal
Yeah.
figures in. Yeah, when I do that, it comes up with a lot size in red, which is unusual. And then when I press either sell or buy, whichever way it's going, it tells me I haven't got enough money because the lot size, like your lot size there now says 47.25, which is great on the 100,000. I understand that. But on my 10,000 one, it says my lot size in red is 2.26. And it won't let me place a trade because there's not enough money in the account. I found it strange. I thought it would adapt to basically the amount of the balance which is in the actual account.
Oh, right. I'm not in a position to advise you.
No,
Because
no, that's fine. I just wondered if you might. I just wondered if those figures were purely for the 100,000 account, that we normally deal with. That you quite like.
do you know who would be very good at this? Is Steve.
Okay.
Do you know Steve?
Well, I know of him through the academy.
Well, he answers all the questions for
Okay.
as far as but he's on holiday this week.
I'll catch him next week. No problem. It's
I'm very sorry, but I always use $100,000 account.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
I thought because it was the trade assistant, it should, and I've watched a couple of YouTube videos, although people saying it should basically adjust to whatever is on the account balance within the account that you're using. So
And that's what
I'm finding it a bit strange.
and
Anyway,
that's what I thought, Kevin. And that's what I thought, to be fair.
yeah,
So I'm not really sure how to rectify that, to be fair.
no problem, mate. We'll sort it out eventually. Thank you very much
Sorry
for your
about
time.
that, Kevin.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Oh, is your risk to reward in purple, Kevin?
Yeah, everything's in purple. I've even got it down to 0.5% of the balance, as opposed to 1%.
So let me understand then. If I put,
yeah,
say it one more time, please, Kevin, if you don't mind.
sorry, say again.
Say exactly what's.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, I've got my trade assistant on an MT4 account which has got $10,000 in it. Yeah. When I put
10,000, and it's okay.
Yeah. And when I put those figures in that you've got on your screen, which I'm looking at now, exactly the same, where it says lot size, your lot size says 47.25 at the moment. Mine is in red and it says 2.26. And when I go to either sell or buy, whichever way I wanted to go, it says can't do it because I've not got enough money in the account, which I'm finding strange because it's got 10,000.
And you got your lot calc in purple.
Yep, I've got everything exactly the same as what you've got there.
And sorry, what lot size is it saying again?
It's in red and it's 2.26.
2.26.
Yeah, but that's fine because it's 10,000, so I can imagine that's
yeah, of course.
down.
So it's going to be 10 times smaller, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but it's in red and it won't let me enter the trade because it says I haven't got enough money because it's in the lot sizes, the figures are in red as opposed to black, which is the same as what
and it's a demo account.
Yes. Yes.
Why don't you go to $100,000 account then and just?
I've done that before. I was just trying it on this particular one. I was just trying it and I couldn't understand why. It was. I'll be honest with you. It's an old one on a challenge I did, and I must admit I forgot about it. And I thought I'll just try it on this challenge one, which is $10,000.
Strange. Have you got everything more or less the same, really?
Exactly the same, except where you've got risk balance 1 there, which is fine. I've got mine at 0.5.
Yeah, that should make.
And I've tried 1 as well. It's exactly the same. I put 1 in there. It comes up exactly the same thing. So I'll speak to Steve next week, David. And
yeah, sorry, Steve, Kevin.
Not a problem. It's just I thought it might be because it was all these figures are based around 100,000. So
no, they're not at all. They should work the same on any size account.
Well, that was mine, and as I said, I've watched a couple of YouTube videos, and they're saying exactly the same. Anyway, I don't want to keep any more tonight. It's well past your time. Thank you very much indeed.
No, thanks very much, Kevin. I'm sorry I couldn't answer that, but very useful information. I'll mention that to Steve next week when he's back
Okay,
myself.
that's great. Thanks a lot.
And we'll try and sort it out one live next week, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see why. Anyway.
Okay, Kevin, thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
your question. Right, guys. So the end of the session. Thanks very much for your time today. And like I say, we haven't got there as yet. I mean, that's the scenario for the buy on both. Anyway, so that, and I'm going to be going on again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to go to bed in a minute. I know, but I'll be here again at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So thanks very much, guys, for being here. Have a great rest of the day and speak to you tomorrow. Cheers for now. Bye.